Hey there. I want you to just take a deep breath.
Yeah, you probably need one right about now.
We all do, honestly, because I mean, if you spend any time at all just scrolling online today, it is so incredibly easy to feel like everyone else has it completely figured
Like
out.
totally. Like you are just constantly falling behind everyone else.
Right. And the internet just loves to sell you that panic, the comparison, the whole illusion of overnight success.
It's a highly profitable illusion for the people selling it.
Exactly. But we have a very different mission for this deep dive today. We are looking at some fantastic source material that reminds us of a core truth, which is you are not powerless.
Not at all.
You absolutely have the ability to build walk-away wealth, to regain control of your life. And the core thesis across everything we're looking at today is that wealth is not an event, it is a process.
That distinction right there between an event and a process,
Yeah,
that's where most people just get totally derailed.
because we want the event, right?
We obsess over it. We want the lottery win or, the tech IPO or some obscure crypto coin going to moon overnight.
Right, the overnight millionaire stuff.
Yeah. But true financial progress is rarely this massive leap in your bank balance.
Hmm.
Usually, it's just a quiet, kind of boring shift in your mindset and your daily habits.
Which means, and this is the really exciting part, chances are you are much further along than you give yourself credit for. You might just be looking at the wrong dashboard.
Exactly. People track the wrong metrics.
So today we are going to walk through 15 specific signs that you are actually closing in on financial freedom.
And we should probably start with the invisible nature of this whole process, because before we get into, like, the tactical habits, we need to understand why it feels so slow.
Oh, it feels agonizingly slow sometimes. Why is that?
Well, it comes down to sign number one on our list, which is that your daily habits are actually shifting for the better, but the results are invisible at first.
Okay, unpack that for us.
One of the sources states it perfectly. They say your net worth is simply a lagging indicator of your daily financial habits.
A lagging indicator. Okay, I want to pause on that because you hear that term in like stuffy corporate meetings all the time.
Right. Usually when someone's trying to explain why revenue is down.
Exactly. But applying it to your own personal bank account, that fundamentally changes the emotional weight of checking your balance.
It really does. If you run a business, your quarterly revenue is a lagging indicator. It tells you what happened in the past.
Okay.
Your leading indicators are things like website traffic or customer satisfaction. If those are strong today, the math says your revenue has to go up tomorrow.
So in personal finance, the leading indicator is what? Like skipping a luxury purchase?
Yes, skipping the purchase, cooking at home, setting up a $50 automatic transfer to an index fund. Those are leading indicators.
But the problem is we expect those leading indicators to immediately update the lagging indicator, which is our net worth.
Precisely. You do the right thing on Tuesday, you check your bank account on Wednesday morning, and, well, you're still not a millionaire.
And it feels like a failure. It's emotionally devastating if you don't understand that delay. It reminds me of the analogy the sources draw between building wealth and building health.
Oh, the mechanics are virtually identical.
Right, like both require this intense delayed gratification. You can't just plant a seed today and expect to eat the fruit tomorrow.
Or, you can't go to the gym for one grueling workout and expect to wake up with a six-pack.
Which is so funny because everyone just accepts that reality when it comes to the gym, but we completely reject it with our portfolios.
It's because physical health is tied to biology.
Yeah.
We intuitively know we can't cheat biology.
But money is just numbers on a screen.
Exactly. It's abstract. So we think there's a cheat code.
Yeah.
But the baseline reality is that 10 years of silent, invisible grinding is the standard recipe for overnight success.
The silent grinding. I love that phrase. And that leads right into how people react when the system gets volatile. Which brings us to sign number 10. From the material, you don't panic over market fluctuations.
This is a huge indicator of maturity. If you understand lagging indicators, you stop micromanaging the day-to-day noise of the stock market.
Because the fear of losing money keeps more people poor than bad investments ever do. That's a direct concept from the text.
And the math behind it is terrifying. When the market drops violently, human biology kicks in. We want to flee danger.
So people log into their brokerage accounts in a cold sweat and just hit sell.
They sell everything to stop the bleeding. But historically, the absolute highest gaining days in the stock market usually clusters immediately after the worst days.
Oh, wow. So by pulling your money out to feel safe, you're missing the rebound.
You're guaranteeing you miss it. You lock in your loss, and you're entirely absent for the recovery.
The market is basically just a machine that transfers wealth from the frantic to the focused.
That's exactly what it is. Surviving the market is the goal, not timing it. Boring investing is usually profitable. Exciting investing is usually just gambling.
Like chasing the next meme coin, that's just buying lottery tickets with extra steps.
Extra highly taxed steps, yes.
Right. So, okay, we have the patience for the long haul, but that begs the question, why are we doing this? Which is sign number 14, you actually know what you're working toward.
This is the shift from just hoarding cash to actually strategizing. True wealth isn't about sitting on a mountain of money like a dragon.
Because hoarding cash is actually terrible, right? Thanks to inflation.
Oh, absolutely. If you just leave cash under a mattress, inflation is actively destroying it. No, true wealth, the actual goal is the absolute ability to control your own calendar.
Yes. You aren't just hoarding cash, you are buying time.
Time is your only unrenewable resource. You don't actually want $1 million. What you want is the freedom and the autonomy that $1 million provides.
You want to wake up on a Tuesday and just decide what you're doing that day.
Exactly. And once you internalize that, your daily financial decisions change instantly.
Because every time you buy something, you aren't just trading dollars for an item. You're trading your future freedom for that item.
Right. And that is the perfect transition into the actual mechanics of cash flow.
Section 2, reframing the mechanics. Because if time is what we're buying, we have to look really closely at how we manage the money coming in right now.
Which means we have to talk about the dreaded B word.
Budgeting.
Yeah. Sign number 2 is that you have completely reframed the concept of a budget.
For most people, that word just carries so much emotional baggage, it feels restrictive, like a financial diet.
Like a prison. Yeah.
But the shift the sources talk about is paradigm altering. You realize a budget isn't a prison, it's the blueprint for your financial escape.
It's the shift from being told what to do by your circumstances to actively telling your money what to do.
Let's unpack the psychology there. Why does writing down a plan change how we feel about spending?
Because it forces you to confront opportunity cost. As humans, we are just terrible at calculating opportunity cost on the fly.
Oh, completely. You see a $1,000 phone, your brain just says, I want the phone.
Right. But when you have a budget, you are forced to realize that $1,000 has to come from somewhere else. It has to come from your travel fund or your investment account.
So you realize that every dollar you waste today is literally stealing a choice from your future self.
Exactly. A budget stops feeling restrictive and starts feeling like armor.
I love that. And that connects directly to signs 3 and 4, prioritizing retention over income and shrinking your debt.
This is crucial because making a high income is great, but what stays in your wallet matters exponentially more than what passes through it.
We see this all the time, right? The broke high earner.
Oh, constantly. Someone making $250,000 a year, but their lifestyle expanded so much that their retention rate is basically zero.
They're just a middleman, passing money from their employer straight to the corporations they buy luxury goods from.
It's brutal. You cannot out-earn chronic overspending, just like you can't out-train a bad diet.
Which is why stopping the bleeding, shrinking that consumer debt is paramount. The sources do a deep dive on consumer debt, calling it a tax on impatience.
That is the most accurate definition I've ever heard.
Yeah.
You want the lifestyle right now before you actually produce the economic value to afford it.
So you pay a premium, the interest rate, for the privilege of impatience.
You're pulling future labor backward to consume it today, and you're taking a massive penalty to do it.
You cannot borrow your way to prosperity. The bank is not your friend.
Not at all. They are a business, and their product is selling you debt.
But, okay, let's look at the other side of the ledger. We're cutting costs, we're budgeting, we're paying down debt, but frugality has a floor, right?
Yes, and that's signs 8 and 9. You treat yourself like a CEO, and you aggressively focus on your earning potential.
Because you can only cut expenses down so much, you still need food and shelter.
Right, frugality has a hard mathematical floor. But your earning power, that has virtually no ceiling. You can't shrink your way to wealth forever.
So how do you balance keeping those fixed costs low with actually expanding your income?
Well, the sources point to a really brilliant framework. Your 9 to 5 funds your survival, but your 5 to 9 builds your empire.
Okay, but let's be careful there because hustle culture can just burn people out completely.
Absolutely. It's not about working 24/7. It's about skill stacking. Finding ways to create asymmetrical returns on your time.
Like learning a new high-leverage skill or negotiating a raise based on undeniable value you've created.
Exactly. A good CEO stops running the company at a deficit, but a great CEO immediately pivots to revenue generation.
I really like that mindset shift. But the mechanics of budgeting and earning only work if you have the emotional regulation to stick to them.
Yes, wealth is, at its core, 20% mechanics and 80% psychology.
Which brings us to section 3, the psychology of wealth and the status illusion. And sign number 12 is a big one. You celebrate the success of others.
Getting rid of envy is a prerequisite for financial maturity.
Why is that? Why is envy so dangerous to our wallets?
It goes back to a scarcity mindset versus an abundance mindset. If you have a scarcity mindset, you view the world as a fixed pie.
So if someone else gets a slice, there's less for me.
Right. You see collaborators as competitors. Envy is like a financial cancer. It forces you to make terrible emotional money decisions just to keep up with the Joneses.
Just to prove you're getting a slice of the pie, too.
Exactly. But an abundance mindset realizes value can be created. The pie can expand, so you feel inspired instead of jealous.
And this directly cures you of sign number 7, playing the status game.
The status game is a zero-sum losing battle, especially today.
Here is where it gets really interesting to me, because the modern social media illusion is just staggering.
It is entirely fabricated.
Rented Lamborghinis on Instagram do not pay dividends. And paying for a blue check mark on your profile, that is a monthly expense. It's not a digital asset.
The sources are highly critical of this. Looking rich is the absolute easiest way to stay broke.
There's that great quote from the material: the most expensive thing you can buy is someone else's definition of success.
It's so true. When you reach the point where you have completely stopped trying to look rich to people you don't even like, that is real freedom.
And when you stop playing that game, you start treating money as a tool, which is signs 11 and 13. You buy things that pay you.
This is the distinction between rich people and poor people when it comes to acquiring things.
Rich people acquire assets.
Yes. And poor people acquire liabilities that they think are assets.
Like upgrading a car every 3 years. You think it's an asset because it has value, but it's just actively draining your net worth.
Exactly. A true asset puts money into your pocket without you having to exchange labor for it. It generates yield.
The money you save is the freedom you buy. Which leads us to sign 15, feats. Your definition of a flex has completely changed.
This is my favorite one.
Me too, because we used to think a flex was like a flashy car or a designer watch.
But true wealth is silent. Debt is loud.
So what's the new flex?
The ultimate flex is an empty schedule on a Tuesday.
Just having nothing you are forced to do.
It's the ability to wake up and realize you don't owe your time to a creditor or a boss you hate. You bought back your autonomy. Is the most powerful status symbol in the world.
Man, that is the dream. But let's get ruthlessly practical for a second. We've covered the mindset, the psychology, the mechanics.
Right.
How do we actually guarantee this happens on a daily basis?
Right.
Because human willpower runs out. We get decision fatigue.
You absolutely cannot just white-knuckle your way to wealth over 30 years. It's impossible.
Which brings us to our final section, the power of small actions and automation. Sign number 5. You respect the small amounts.
There's a stark warning in the text here. It says, if you can't manage $1,000, you will destroy $100,000.
Financial discipline scales.
Exactly. If you have bad habits when you're broke, you'll just have magnified bad habits when you have capital.
So respecting the small amounts means looking out for the hidden costs of life. Things like the convenience trap.
Oh, the convenience trap is the silent killer of the middle-class budget.
You're too tired to cook, so you pay a 30% markup for food delivery. You don't want ads, so you have 5 premium streaming services.
It's death by 1,000 cuts.
And then there's the I deserve it tax. You have a bad week, so you say, I deserve this expensive dinner. The sources say that phrase has bankrupted more people than market crashes.
Because it justifies self-sabotage under the guise of self-care.
But on the flip side, respecting the small amounts also means realizing some of the best ROI comes from free things.
Like an 8-hour sleep and a glass of water.
Exactly. Sometimes the best thing for your net worth is just going to bed, so you have the energy to make good decisions tomorrow.
Your biological health is the foundational layer of your wealth.
Even with good sleep, willpower fails. Which is why sign number 6 is the ultimate safety net. Your future is on autopilot.
You cannot rely on motivation. Motivation is fleeting.
So you automate your investments. The money leaves your checking account before your brain even registers that you had it to spend.
You front-load the decision-making. You set it up once, and then you get out of your own way.
Hustle culture burns you out, but strategic, quiet consistency builds you up. Automation is the ultimate form of quiet consistency.
It lets compound interest do the heavy lifting for you.
Okay, so if you are listening to this right now and you recognize yourself in even 3 or 4 of these signs, be proud.
Seriously. You are shedding the excuses. You're doing the quiet, unglamorous work that actually builds empires.
But we aren't going to let you just nod along and do nothing. We have a concrete action step for you today, straight from the source material.
Log into your bank account right now.
Not tomorrow, right now. Increase your automated savings or your investment transfer by just $10 a week.
It's a tiny amount. $40 a month isn't going to put you on the street.
But the psychology of it is massive. It reinforces the habit that you are paying your future self first. It's a micro win that hardwires the autopilot.
Because if you wait to save whatever is left over at the end of the month, there will be nothing left over.
Exactly. So do it right now, $10 a week. Now, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. We talked a lot about buying back your time, your freedom.
But there's a deeper implication to all of this.
Right. There is a very powerful line from the text. Generational wealth is built by the grandparents, but sustained by the financial education of the grandchildren.
That is so heavy.
It really is. You might be the one doing the brutal work right now to build the wealth. You're setting up the automations, you're ignoring the rented Lamborghinis.
But if you don't transfer the knowledge alongside the money,
the money will just be destroyed by the next generation. So ask yourself, what financial education are you quietly passing down to the people around you to ensure that the freedom you're building today actually lasts?
something to really think about.
Absolutely. Until next time.